Well, before I retire for the evening, let's talk about a little something here. If you don't mind me philosophizing, as I call that, we got a new year coming, and you don't necessarily have to make resolutions for the new year. They never usually work. But the one thing we all need to hope for is that we are living another year. We're going to see another digit pop up there, both in our age, both in the calendar dates. But I think what's more important, that man, that I discovered in the time I've lived out here in the Philippines, is that I made the right choices. And I do mean everything, not excluding anything. Sometimes that's what you have to do. I am hoping that the new year brings continued love in your life, of course, mine. Um, if you don't have a love in your life, I hope you really find somebody who is compatible to you, because that's really important. There's got to be love or there's nothing. It's love or nothing. There's no compromising in that. We could compromise with things in our life, but sometimes not everything goes your way. Sometimes not all things go my way. I'm the last person to be the model or poster child of perfection, because I'm certainly not. But I've gotten through my life pretty well, and I've handled any roadblocks I've ever had in my life, failed relationships, maybe a failed marriage. And through my hardest times, I've gotten through stuff. I really have. And I can truly say, at this point in my life, I'm really very happy. I'm very happy to who I met, and I'm still with, and I'm very fortunate. I don't care about money. I don't care about any of that shit. Houses, money, any crap like that. I just really don't. That's not important to me. It never was. What's important in life is to have somebody that really truly loves you for who you are, despite naysayers and, people trying to create a roadblock in your life, one way or the other. You still march on, man. You still march on, because you have to. Face your adversities in life, and don't be, don't live in a world of pretense, a world of ifs and buts. Know what you want, and you go after it. I can't be more clear than that. This life is really too goddamn short. It really is. I look back in the years, I say, what the fuck? How many years have gone by? I always used to say that. Was I in a coma? What happened to the last 30 years of my life? I mean, sometimes you feel that way. And sometimes I do, and I look back, and I remember the people I've been with, friends, foes, girlfriends, where I thought something was going to work, and it didn't. There's a lot of disappointments in life. I'm sure a lot of us have gone through that. Hi, Judge Kubota. You overseeing a quarry today, yeah. I was just talking about life, man. Sometimes it's nice not to talk about all the bullshit and all the repetition. We're talking about life. We're talking about a new year coming. And as I said, not necessarily resolutions to make, because nobody can keep them, really. The best you could do is to go on with your life. Be happy for what you actually have in your life, rather than what you don't have, whether it's money, or whatever it might be, or whatever shortcomings that you might have in life. You gotta kind of hurdle yourself beyond this crap. If life goes on, whether you like it or not, and it comes to a point where life ceases to exist. So what do you do with your life? You live it in any form or way that's comfortable for you, not for somebody else. I don't live for somebody else. Although I must admit, I do pretty much live for the one person in my life that I could trust, count on, and seriously love. Love is rare. I mean, true love. Not acquired love, not love for sale, not love out of a toolbox. I couldn't live that way. I mean, I'd rather be alone. And I've been alone in my life. Yeah, I've been out with a lot of women. But in between those women in my past, it was pretty lonely. It's a place that I never wanted to be. Yeah, I've experienced loneliness. I most certainly have. I know what it's like. And that's why in a lot of my shows, I always say that there's a lot of people out there that get really bitter in life because they're alone. Some people live vicariously through others, which is sad in itself. With how many billion people on this earth, you kind of wonder to yourself, how could anybody be alone? But unfortunately, there are a lot of people that are alone out there. There are people in hospices that don't have a family to see them off. People that have lived at a very ripe age and most of their relatives and friends have died. And they find themselves all alone. There are people that have the empty nest syndrome where the children have now grown. And sometimes that song, Where Do We Go From Here? Now that all our children have grown up. I forgot who wrote that song. It's a pretty good song. You find yourself in the empty nest syndrome. You know, your kids have grown up or you're not in your life for whatever reason, it don't matter. It's a lonely experience. It really is. And I've learned a lot from that. I really have. That's why I'm in a stage of my life where, whether it's late, you know, how late it is to find love in your life. Almost 9 years ago, I found love. And I pretty much gave up. I mean, even the thought of living in the Philippines was so far from my mind. Well, one thing turned out into another, and, you know, here I am. I'm saying to myself, believe it or not. I got lucky. I didn't really think I would. I gave up. I was living in Hawaii at the time. I gave up. I had a semi-long-term relationship with somebody out there, but I'm glad it didn't turn out because it wouldn't have turned out. And you have to make decisions whether that person is the right person for you or not. I don't care what people think or say or anything like that. But I'd rather be alone. The truth is, I've spent more time alone than I've had with women. I've had a lot of women in my life. I mean, I seriously have, and I'm not rubbing or crowing or anything like that. You could still be with somebody and still be very alone. I've been in relationships, and you think, well, you're with somebody, you have somebody, and you shouldn't feel alone. But maybe something was missing, and you still felt alone. You didn't feel complete. So when you do find somebody that makes you feel complete, man, you just accomplished something that it's incredible. It's just incredible. I always thought that I would die alone, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. She did save me. She did. I mean, in a good way. Yeah, you found each other, and that's great to see people find love together. I didn't think. I'll be real honest with you. You know, and no, I'm not a perfect person in a relationship. I'm not. I saw too many things in black and white instead of shades of gray. And I had a girlfriend that once told me that, and I made a joke. Well, my specialty was black and white photography. I do see things in shades of gray, And I meant it. And I meant it. I meant it. And I pretty much had to think it was my way or the highway for the most part. Then I realized that don't work. You can't be in a relationship and be very demanding You can't be in a relationship without sharing each other's thoughts. You can't be in a relationship where there's no compromise. You can't tell your partner what to do, how to do it, when to do it. You can't put your partner in fear. That's not going to be a good relationship for anyone. Um, yeah, I'm lucky. And you don't have to remind me what my age is. Yes, I do think about it, in case you're wondering. If you want to read everything on the internet, people live to 70, 74, whatever. And some people would hope that you die before that time. Some of the evil people out there. But they're getting old too. And every minute and hour and day that goes by, they're also getting older. So if you're 30 years younger than me, if you live your life well, you'll get to reach my age area. I'm sounding like I'm totally ancient. I'm not ancient. I could live another 15, 20 years. I don't know. I got good genes in the family, but we'll see. But the one thing I could say, no matter how long I live in this life, I finally achieved a goal. And the truth is, I've always achieved goals. Anytime I ever set my mind for something, I went for it. And I'm not going to go through all the stories again. When I moved and made the decisions to do one thing or another, some might call it acting impulsively. But I went with my feelings. I mean, I had a job. I could have got, you know, uh, well, could have had another pension coming in. Let's put it that way. But the impulsiveness told me that this is not the direction to take. You leave a good job, didn't even get vested. You could have waited till you got vested. I didn't care about that. I didn't care about that. I felt this is not the place for me to be anymore. And since I already owned a couple of acres in the state of Hawaii, I'm building a house. Nobody believed me. Nobody believed me. Nobody ever believed me, actually. No, you're not living in New York. No, you're not leaving Washington State. No, you're not leaving Hawaii. But I did. And some people got pissed off about it, but sometimes you have to do what you have to do in life that makes you happy. You're not doing it for somebody else unless it's a partner or a wife or girlfriend of yours. You want to do what you can for that person. It's called love. It's called finding the right partner in life. And it's really hard. I wasn't kidding when I told you how many women I've actually been with. Again, I'm not crowing here. I swear on anything that's good in my life, I'm not crowing. But all the women I've been with, it took this long, 9 years ago, almost to be February, it'd be 9 years, guys. Our anniversary is in February. 9 years ago, somebody gave me life. They breathed breath into my lungs and make me feel alive again for the first time in a long time. I didn't expect that, really. I just lost hope of everything, I just really did. I lost hope. And if you really known me personally, I think you'd understand me a whole lot better. Yeah, I've got a reputation here on YouTube, but it was created, but it wasn't created by me. You done good and settled down with Gilda. Yeah, I did. I show her my appreciation all the time, and I don't mean buying a house and jewelry or any crap like that. That's meaningless, really. It's material things. Even the richest people in the world, maybe they got a rare form of disease, they're going to die. They would give all the money in the world to be able to find a medicine to cure their illness. There are billionaires that would give all the money in the world to bring their old love back together again. A departed loved one, through death or divorce, whatever it might be. So money is nice to have if you have it, and I'm certainly not rich. But what I have is worth more than money. It's hard to come by. And she's right here in this house. when I have offensive comments like that, we're definitely going to get rid of you. I don't care how many children somebody has. I'm not raising them all. If I had to, I would. So if you have a problem with that, I'm sorry. But I think that was kind of a rude comment, so I'm not going to get pissed off. I'm just going to get rid of you. And for good reason. There's a lot of jealousy going on out there on YouTube, and I know that to be true. I've made this assessment a long time ago, and most of my adversaries are people that don't have what I have, and I'm not talking about a house. I'm not talking about anything about money. I'm not talking about any of that shit. I'm not talking about material things. What I have is rare, and the people who are so against me don't have what I have. They may say they do. They might even be in a relationship. How good is that relationship? What was it based on? I don't know about how your relationship, mine is based on true love and trust. That's what mine's based on. And I'm happy with that. I know my life. I know my feelings. I know whether I'm happy or sad. I don't have to share that with the world, but I will share with the fact that I'm living the life that I want to live, not that somebody else wants me to live. I'm living the life that I want to live. If people don't like it, that's just too goddamn bad. Find yourself a great woman like I did. Maybe you'll be happy. Maybe you won't be as bitter. Get away from your soap operas and your bingo parlors and from reposting posts on here of other people's shows, and maybe move on with your life and find something to live for instead of living for me, the shows I put on, copying my shows. To me, that's mental illness. Don't worry about my life. I'm happy with it. Worry about your own intentions. Worry about your future. I'm telling you, man, life is short. It's short. It's shorter than you think it is. Fortunately for me, I don't have any adverse medical conditions I have to be concerned with, but, you never know what's going on in life. Anything could strike you at any moment. You know, this old saying that live like every day is your last. Well, yeah, I have some belief in that. Create a bucket list of something you never did and maybe do it. That's good for some people, but I'm kind of happy with the status quo, Charisma doesn't grow on trees. You got that right. You're the fountain of Frank. I wonder who you really are, Judge Kubota. Is this Aloe, by the way? I don't know who you really are, but it's okay. Yeah, I'm going to wind down soon here, but I want to do a show. Celebrate what you have that's good in your life and that's true in your life. Please don't put anybody through any kind of false expectations. It's not fair for the other party. It's too selfish. It's not rewarding, and somebody will get hurt. That's what I say about that. So if anybody questions my happiness, don't question it. It's real. It's happening. It's real. In February, it'll be 9 years. I'm still alive. I don't plan on going anywhere soon. At least it's not my plan. It's okay. I have no malicious intent towards you, and certainly not your partner. Well, thank you, whoever you really are. Maybe one day you'll reveal yourself. That's kind of what I wanted to say before I hit the sheets pretty soon here. I've been watching my Virgin River movie, and something about that movie made me think about a lot of different stuff and how lucky people are. There's a lot of relationship things going on in this movie, and you'd have to watch it. It makes you realize how insignificant other things are in your life, whether you got adversity or whatever you have. Everything becomes insignificant Why? Because you're not making it significant. You're concentrating on what's good for you, where you're at in your life right now. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, but today. There are people in their 80s or even older than that that get married. They're always looking for love. Love never dies. I don't know what age you're at. No matter what age you're at, you still have love in your heart. You still have a yearning for love. You might have been married for 50, 60 years to somebody and they die on you and you get a broken heart. Some people don't feel like going on because that person was like their right arm. It was so close, it was like part of their own body. And then they die. 50, 60 years together. Can you imagine that? That's horrible. I don't, and I don't plan to be a person that dies alone when my time ever comes. I can't tell you what it is, and I don't even want to know. I'm just doing my best to stay alive and enjoy every day of my life in a way that's comfortable for me. Nobody's ever going to get in the way of that. They never will. They tried, but it never worked. I know people way back that said we wouldn't be together for 6 weeks. Nevertheless, almost 9 years. 9 years. That's a long time, actually. When you think about our life cycle, that's a long time. Some people don't last 6 months, a month, 3 months. It's just that you have to make a conscious decision. Is this person right for you? And why are they right? Don't just get together or marry somebody just because you're lonely. That's the worst thing you could do. If that's the case, just be friends. But don't marry somebody because you need them for somebody, because they're a tool for you. That's the worst thing you could do for yourself, and it's really a horrific thing to do for your partner. Because if there's no real intent, if there's really no love, don't do it to the other person. Don't go there, because you're going to wind up hurting somebody. The one thing I do know for sure, I don't know when my time is going to come, and I don't want to know, but I will tell you one thing. I know somebody's going to be at my side till the day that I'm no longer around. Can everybody make that statement? Possibly some people, but I don't think everybody on here could. Don't be envious of me. And I know a lot are. Just go out and get your own life. Get away from the general hospital. Get away from the bingo parlors. Get away from making copycat channels on YouTube. And go on with your life. Appreciate what you got. Don't be envious and green-eyed monster of somebody else because they're happy where they are. Nobody, and I do mean nobody, and I mean nobody, is going to change my life, if I could help it, in any way, physical, legal, or any other way. I'm not going to let that happen. Let's start the new year fresh. Let's move on with our lives. If you don't have a life, maybe get one. Consider a hobby other than being malicious and malignant on YouTube. Well, that might work. That's such an idea. Not a bad idea. Nobody's ever brought me down before. Nobody ever will. Call me a phoenix rising from the ashes. I've always arisen. Under the worst conditions I ever had in my life, I've always came out of the ashes, reinvented myself. That's just who I am. Okay. With that being said, I don't want this to turn out into a long show because I'm going to kind of wind down from the night. Put my movie on hold for tomorrow. And maybe I'm giving you guys something to reflect on, if not just a little bit. Really, appreciate what you have, man. And don't abuse what you have. Finding the right person to be with is not an easy task. And the truth is, it's never been for me. No, it's never been easy. I don't care how many women I've gone through in my life. They weren't all long-term relationships. And maybe for good reason. Maybe there is somebody watching over me on my shoulders. I don't really know. Because I know that I had certain relationships, if I would have continued them, they would have turned out to be really toxic. And I came close several times. So I made the conscious decision and examined what was right for me or what was wrong, and I went with it. I will never choose somebody out of loneliness. That's not where I go. As I said, I'd rather be alone than be with somebody that's not meant for me to be with. I can't do that, and I won't do that. I'm at the end of the line on relationships. This is it. There ain't no more. Even if something happened to my lovely, beautiful, gorgeous woman, I wouldn't be searching anymore. I really wouldn't. Nobody wants to go to the song and dance again, really, because it's a long song and dance. But I'm getting at an advanced stage, and I see no purpose if my partner no longer existed for whatever reason. Couldn't do it again. But the way life is self-preservation. You have to move on. You make that choice. You want to be lonely, or you want somebody else in your life. That's a choice you have to make. A lot of people, their partners die, no matter what age they are. Might have been the love of their life, and that their heart was so goddamn broken. But your human spirit forces you to move on. You're never going to forget about the ones you love. I've had women in my past that I actually loved. It didn't work out, but I don't forget those days we were together. I'm not that kind of person. I don't forget what we had. Although we lost what we had, I don't concentrate on particularly the negative of the relationship. I think of the good moments I had together with people. At least I try. I can't say they all do that with me. Not everybody gives a shit whether you're still alive or not. I do. I've actually went to look up people on Facebook and see how they're doing, they're still alive, if they're happy. I've done that. Even if they never tried to look me up. But isn't it kind of weird in life? When you're so close to somebody, and your glove, the glove just fits right. And you can never see yourself be with anybody other than that person. Then it doesn't work out. It's a big disappointment. Either you chose wrong or, something just didn't work out. I have been in several relationships like that where I said, yeah, this is the person for me. But for some reason, you know, my inner conscience says, no, this is not the one for you. Move on. So you're going to be alone for a while until you find your next person. Be wiser. Take your time. And see if they're right for you, man. Okay, that's what I have to say. I chose not to do a show about all the drama here on YouTube. As I said, the new year is coming. Try to have a clean slate for the new year, which I wish on all of you. Get rid of your demons and move on with your life. Stop being malignant and malicious, and life just might give you a square deal that has more meaning than you know if you examine what I'm saying. All right, take care. Thanks for listening.